Hey everybody, Scout Crafter here again. Today we have an antique German multi-tool with kind of a sketchy history, so let's get downstairs and see what we have. Okay, the story behind this little tool that we're going to be working on today is that I've seen these for years, and I've always seen them in knockoff condition. They're usually made in Japan or something. A lot of these knockoffs were made in the 60s, late 50s. This is an original one from Germany, and it's a German multi-tool used for communications. I have one ad that says it was made for target stands. And first, what we're going to do is just look at the condition here. Before we get too much about talking about it, let me just do a wire brush so I'm not showing you a dirty tool. Okay, here we are at our post-wire brush evaluation. As you can see, this is a true multi-tool. It has a screwdriver, flat bladed here. It has a nail puller down here. Over here it has a wire cutter. You can see here this is a wire cutter. It has a wrench or a pliers of a type that will be that'll be able to grab nuts and whatnot. A small hammer, what you would use it for, I don't know. Even more humorous is the axe. But there was some use for this. Again, like I said, it was a military combination tool. I'm trying to get a date on this. I'm a little bit sketchy. I've been trying to do research on it. And what we're going to do with it, and it does have a clipper up here of sorts, or a crimper, or whatever you would call that up on top. So it is a multi-useful tool. And first thing you want to do is, it's a little mashed down here on one side. You can see here, so that's a little mashed. The reason that happens a lot is because with a tool like this, if you were going to use it for kindling or something, you would place this onto the wood and bang this top of the wood to split the wood, because obviously you don't have enough mass to make this axe any useful unless you were driving it and using it almost like what they call batoning. You would have to baton it and hit on the top of here to split any wood. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up this edge here, okay? And then we're going to see about getting this back to some kind of finish. We also have some pitting here, as you can see on both sides. You can see there, both sides, so we can address that with the belt sander. And let's get it back to a finish. These used to come nickel plated or chrome plated. I know if it's a military tool, it doesn't make sense. It has some really nice knurling on the handle here. I don't know anything really more about this, so let's get working on it and we'll figure out more about it. Okay, we're able to get that lip off with the belt sander there. And now our next problem to address, as you can see, it doesn't exactly line up right. You see here, we have this side seems like it's canted a little bit to the right, or the front side seems it's not exactly right. That should line up perfectly, and you can see it here. It's really noticeable. So we have to move this side this way and twist that side that way. So we're going to apply a little bit of heat and some good old-fashioned elbow grease, see if we can get those lined up. Remember, you know, you see where it looks like that. It's not lined up right. Okay, we were able to straighten that out. You could see now, looking down, nice and straight. Looking that way, nice and straight. See? Now, I don't know. I think these are more of a crimper. I really don't see these as being a cutter. So I'm not going to sharpen any of these. That, you know, they might be a crimper, being that it might have been a communications tool or whatnot. Because the wire cutter here, it's down here. So we'll just touch this up with a file, get it so it works. Get some of these. I can't get these deep pits out. They're really too deep. But see, here's the hard part. With the belt sander now, I can easily get the edge of this blade. But see here, this little bevel, you can't get the belt to bend in there. So you have to address that first before you go to the belt sander. Let's do that. Now here you'll see I use the stick a lot in the back of the belt to get to the hard areas. I use the stick. Sometimes I just hold the actual tool in one position and have the stick climb up and down the belt to get to different parts of the tool to clean it. Then we took it over to the buffer. You got to be careful. A small tool like this builds up a lot of heat, so you have to have a bucket of water there so that you could douse it and cool it down. And you remember my favorite part. Remember what it looked like before we started. Okay, we are calling this project done. Now, I went to do some research on this, and a lot of German companies had made this multi-tool before it went over to Japanese manufacturing. As you can see, we just cleaned it up and got everything square and the way it should be when this tool was new. But let me show you some interesting things about it. First of all, this knurling, this diamond pattern knurling, is really nice on here. And what I did notice is some of the differences between the German tools was, especially the rivet here. Some of them had a bulb type rivet, and this one's ground down. This one seems to be of a higher quality than a lot of the other ones. As the cutter goes, you know, it has that sliding cutter, which always works nice, and it does a job on light duty wire. If you had to use the hammer, you know, you could drive in some tacks or whatnot if you had to with the hammer, and then you could use the nail pry here to pry up the whatever you had to use it for, or you could turn this around like this and grab it that way and pull it out this way. So it does have some uses as a multi-tool, so to speak, but it is definitely a light-duty tool. What I did find interesting is the plier part with this wrench does work fairly well. That's a smaller nut, and you can see here that it does give a good grip around it, and you know, it encapsulates the whole nut. So it is a good I guess you could say plier in that respect. Again, I wouldn't use these too much as a cutter up here. I don't know what that is for. Maybe you could, but you really don't have the leverage down here to use it for that. The screwdriver, reground it so that it's actually a working screwdriver again, and it is a nice shape to it. But overall, the comfort, I don't even know how you would handle it so much. I guess it feels more comfortable this way with the curved part into your palm. So interesting tool overall, and like I said, I've always seen these. I've always seen the knockoff, so when I saw the original from Germany, I had to pick it up. And that's it. That's the restoration of this German multi-tool. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen them or you've passed them by or whatnot. I know the guys over in overseas on the other side of the pond, I'm sure you've seen a lot more than we do here. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thank you, and have a nice day.